Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm excited because it's that time of year. The Sephora savings event is happening. I believe it starts on Friday, and this is where you can get 10, 15, or 20% off your order at Sephora, depending on what tier you are, and then also 30% off all Sephora collection for everybody. So I will have the information down below, but I do try to do my recommendations. I don't even know if I said that's what I'm doing today. I'm gonna give you guys my top recommendations for this sale. I do have to say that this year will be probably the smallest recommendations video because I am just going to focus on new products. So I'm not gonna go over all of my favorites. So if you wanna know about primer, concealer, foundation, the whole bit, I will have that linked down below, and I'm gonna separate it so it's easy to navigate. But I wanna go over the new products. So I'm not being too repetitive, talking about the products that I have tried since the last sale that I really recommend, and I really don't have that many. Not really because I wasn't filming and posting a lot. There really just wasn't that many changes in a lot of my routine. So because of that, this is going to be a shorter recommendations video. I just don't want to recommend stuff that I really don't love. So I'm not going to just like pull for a bunch of new products just for the sake of it. So I really only have a few products that really are standing out to me. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you like these recommendations videos, give this video a thumbs up. All the links will be down below in the description, and let's go ahead and get into what I recommend for the Sephora spring sale. Starting off strong, I have to mention this lip treatment lip balm that you guys actually recommended to me. I'm so glad I picked one up because I love it so much that I went back for another shade. So this is the Ole Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. This is so good, you guys. If you guys are looking for a really hydrating lip balm that has beautiful shine, has a nice scent to it, isn't sticky, but also doesn't just wear off like that. Also, just the hydration of this product, I am in love. So my favorite of the two that I have is Strawberry Sorbet. So it has a very typical applicator, very similar to the Naturium, which I really love. Definitely not as thick as the Naturium and more hydrating in my opinion. This formula really kind of gives me a mix of Naturium mixed with Summer Fridays. I love both of those formulas for different reasons. This one is like if those two had a baby. You can just see how high shine this is. This smells incredible. So each one has a different scent. The other shade that I have is, I think, the original. And this one is the one that I would reach for more before bed just because it has like a slight yellow tint, but really it just translates as clear. So there is a red one that I really want to get my hands on that's more bright. And then also I think like a chocolatey brown, but this formula truly has impressed me, but it ticks all the boxes for me, being that it's beautiful, it hangs on a long time, it really gives you that high shine, smells good, doesn't have any bad taste, and it really hydrates your lips. So 10 out of 10 recommend these. Shout out to you guys because you guys were the reason that I did try this. Now, while we're on the topic of lip balms and Summer Fridays, I have to shout out this limited edition lip butter balm in Birthday Cake. So I'm wearing it right now on top of a couple other products that I'm going to talk about, but this formula is well loved. I can see why. It's nice and hydrating. It's definitely not sticky, but it doesn't wear off super fast. It kind of reminds me of the Ole Henriksen, but this one is not quite as shiny. The Ole Henriksen is like lip oil glass shiny. This is more of a kind of balm mix, but this shade in particular is so beautiful because it's the first shade that they came out with that has a little bit of shimmer in it. So I love that they are branching out, and you can see how beautiful and shiny this is. I just think this is such a fun color. I hope they restock it because as of right now when I'm filming, it's not in stock. I'm not surprised, but I would like to see more shimmery shades because they do it so well. It's just very subtle, and you can see that it gives a little bit of glow and reflect to my lips, but it's not chunky at all, and plus it smells amazing. So definitely had to shout this one out because I do think this is such a fun launch and I've been using it a lot. Jumping around a bit, I do have a perfume that I have been loving and I definitely want to recommend to you guys. So this is from 5 Cents and this is the In Too Deep perfume. I am loving this brand. I recently recommended the Life of the Party, which I still love. That one is more like Baccarat, but a little bit more fruity and fun. This one is Tunisian vanilla, Australian sandalwood. This has like sugary, sweet vibes to it, but it has that vanilla base with the sugar. It just is a beautiful, almost like musky gourmand scent. Such a cozy, sweet scent. I feel like you could mix this with so many other perfumes. The sandalwood, the vanilla, the sugar, it really is just delicious. And I find that these do last really well, like a few sprays and I'm good to go. It really hangs on my hair, my skin, my clothes. So I have really loved this brand. I love the vibe of them. And they do have travel sizes. I know this in particular was going in and out of stock. Again, I must just have good taste because the stuff that I'm loving, literally these first 3 products are like out of stock, in stock, out of stock. So you know the people are loving them. But if you haven't tried this brand, I highly recommend. I feel like this is a safe blind buy for a lot of people just because there's nothing offensive. It's not too overpowering. It's not headache inducing. It just smells incredible. Speaking of products that are continuously going in and out of stock, I have another one to share with you. You guys know I wasn't going to not recommend these. These are the new Patrick Ta blush duos that he released recently. I am in love with this formula. I have mentioned them, I think like every sale because this formula truly is just foolproof. Anybody can use these. You can use the powder first, then the cream, which is what he recommends. You can use the cream first, then the powder. You can use one or the other. This formula goes over powder like a dream, which is a huge thing for me. So I have been loving all 3 of these shades, but I have to say that the one that I'm using the most has to be She's the Moment, which is this beautiful coral peachy. It really is very similar to the Dior Backstage blush. It just has that beautiful like glowy neon look to it. And I do have both the powder and the cream on of this shade today. And then I know a lot of people are really, really loving this one, which is Not Too Much. It is a gorgeous, almost like a neutral pinky vibe. I feel like this one is the most popular. And this one just has that beautiful, I don't know, like neutral pink, but almost like sunburnt type of vibe, but really much lighter than his other ones. So if you have fair skin and you wanted to try like She's So LA, I think it was called, definitely check this one out. It's definitely more fair skin friendly. And then I did add a little bit of Just Enough of the powder today, really just right up here. Again, very similar to the Dior if you're familiar, but these are just much more pigmented and this formula is Chef's Kiss. It is truly the best formula, both the powder and the cream. I just cannot rave about these enough. This formula in general, top pick. I would absolutely recommend adding these to your cart. Moving on to eyeshadow, I only have 2 palettes that I really wanted to recommend that are new. I just feel like it was kind of the season of blush and lip products, so not too many eyeshadow palettes that are standing out, but I do have to say I feel like a lot of people are gonna forget about this palette in particular because it launched, I think it launched either during the last sale or right after, and I have not forgotten about it. I'm wearing it today. This is the Pretty Grunge palette from Huda Beauty. I did a tutorial with this palette and it was one of my favorite looks that I've done in a long time. This is such a gorgeous, neutral, but also leaning a little bit cool eyeshadow palette. I love her formula because it's just so easy to blend. Like the mattes today, literally this look took me no time at all. So you can stay in this realm and have more of that neutral, warm look, which is what I played with today. But you can also go in and add these gorgeous toppers. And I remember when I did my initial video, I think this was the shade that I put on the center of my lid. I mean, it's just like metallic goodness, but she also does have these standard metallics that are more powdery and not quite as intense or foiled. And then if you want to play around and do more of that like grunge vibe, you can go up into this here where it's more of like that mauve-y sort of grungy vibe. Again, nothing too crazy, but it does teeter on the mauvey cool tone, and then you can play around with these neutral warm tones if you want to. But this is just absolutely beautiful, pigmented, blends beautifully. I feel like this is a great option for those of you that maybe have like medium tan skin tones because there's a lot of depth in here. I think this palette is absolutely beautiful. Her palettes are some of my favorites, specifically this size. And I feel like a lot of people are just gonna forget about this because it really kind of loops into the last sale, but it is still standing out to me as one of the best palettes that I've tried since the last sale. I would definitely recommend this one. And along with the Huda Beauty, I have one other palette that I really have been enjoying, and this is the Master Mattes Neutral Edition from Makeup by Mario. So this is his newest palette. I've not used this on my channel, but I've used it quite a bit off camera. This is just the more neutral, cool toned sister to his Master Mattes, which I personally love. You do have the option to go really kind of cool with this gunmetal, leaning sort of like a blue vibe. And then overall, the rest of the palette really is quite neutral, whereas his original did lean pretty warm. So you definitely have less warmth overall in here, but it still is a neutral palette. It does make me wonder if he's going to come out next with a cool, like a true cool. I just feel like this is such a beginner-friendly formula because it's buildable. You don't kind of go overboard and think, oh my gosh, now I can't blend this out. It's just one of the more forgiving, buildable formulas, which I like. I know some people don't, so just keep that in mind, but I think this is a great addition. I would have liked to see maybe a little bit more cool in this, but again, because it's the neutral palette, I am wondering if he is going to bring out a third edition, which would be truly cool. I definitely think that makes sense, so I would love to see it, but I do reach for mattes most days. I mean, you can see right now, like even when I'm getting ready, I just reach for mattes most of the time. So this is definitely something that's been top drawer for me. Next, I have to shout out this lip liner formula that really surprised me. I wasn't gonna pick this up because I tried a lipstick formula from this brand and really wasn't a fan, but then I saw, I think her name is Maddie Bernard, she's absolutely stunning. She was using this lip liner formula on her Instagram and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy it. This is such a great formula. So this is from Freck, which is a clean beauty brand. I love their moisturizer. I need to pick it up. It's been in every recommendations that I've done forever. I will have it linked down below, but this is the Makeout Club lip liner. So I got the shade 3 and I'm gonna go back and get a couple more. It's one of the roll-up lip liners, so it's not a standard pencil. It does glide a little bit more smooth and slicker than a typical pencil, but this does not budge. This formula is not going anywhere. It has a similar dry down to the Natasha Denona, if you are familiar with those. It lasts forever, but this is thinner. So the Natasha is a little bit thicker and creamier. This one is definitely thinner, almost like it has like a silicone in it or something like that. But the shade that I have is definitely leaning more cool. So I do want to go back and pick up another shade, but this formula really surprised me. This is long lasting. It doesn't get gunky. It's really pigmented and smooth on the lips. So I definitely recommend checking this out. If you do like the Natasha Denona and you want something that's even more lightweight but still long wearing, this is definitely that. Next, I want to talk about this liquid lipstick formula that I was really iffy on purchasing because I had seen some reviews and it didn't look that flattering on people, but I kind of knew that I was going to like this because I do prefer a really moussey liquid lipstick, usually with a soft matte finish. They just last long, but they don't have that dry, cracky feel that the original ABH liquid lipsticks had. So I was intrigued and I picked up one of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Velvet. Okay, so this is the Lip Velvet in the shade Kiss. So I'd seen people use this product and I feel like it's so interesting. This pulls really orange on certain skin tones, and then it has like a really pretty pinky peach on different skin tones, almost like a coral. So I took a chance and ordered this, and I love this formula. I'm wearing it right now with the Freck lip liner, and then I put the Summer Fridays on top. There's a lot going on here, but this truly is a matte formula. So if you have dry lips, I would beware. Today I actually used a little bit of the Ole Henriksen, like a tiny bit, and just sort of rubbed it into my lips before I applied this. So if you have lip lines or dry lips, just know that this is a product you're gonna wanna put a balm on. I think any, honestly, like moussey matte product, but this is so pigmented and it has that like powdery feel to it. It's incredibly, incredibly pigmented, but I just apply it to the center of my lip and then I just blend it in, and I feel like it really just gives me that soft matte look. So it's almost like I put some powder on my lips and it wears a really long time for me. A little goes a long way. So this one surprised me. I'm glad that I didn't just watch reviews and make a decision because I had a feeling that this was gonna work for me. I'm sure you guys are not going to be shocked to hear that this next product I'm going to recommend is a blush. I feel like, again, lots of blush and lip products. That's just what stood out to me since the last sale, and I really have been tried and true with my complexion products. But Haus Labs reformulated their blushes, meaning they have new packaging, so it's smaller and they actually have the shades on the front. And then they did come out with, I wanna say 2 or 3 shades. So I picked up 2. So to give you the comparison in size, this is the original and this is the new. I love the packaging of this. I think it's a really nice upgrade. So I personally do like the upgrade in packaging, even if you do get less product for the price per gram. I would just rather have multiple shades. But I did pick up the Fire Moon and also French Rosette. So I was kind of thinking that the Fire Moon was gonna be like the Patrick Ta She's So LA. This is definitely a very neutral, leaning brown blush. So it really is one of those that I have to be careful with because I do have, I don't have a deep complexion. So a fluffy brush, a little goes a long way. The one that stands out to me more is French Rosette. This one has a really beautiful depth to it, but it really brings your cheeks to life. It has that just like gorgeous glow to it, and it really just kind of livens up your skin. I love this formula. It's one of the best on the market. I just think it's so beautiful because it's pigmented, lightweight, blends like a dream, doesn't enhance your texture. So I'd like to see even more shades, but I was really happy to see just these 2 new shades that I feel like were needed, and we need even more because the shades that I have, again, from Haus Labs are more like baby doll, bright. There is one peach shade, but you get what I'm saying. It's a nice change for them, and I really like the packaging as well. So if you were eyeing these shades are really, really beautiful, especially if you like more of that like neutral monochromatic look. Okay, so I only have one more product to talk about. I was really just shocked at how little new really stood out to me. I think there's only 10 products here, but again, that's the only stuff that really stood out to me enough to recommend to you guys. And then I will link all of my other favorites below because I'm still writing for, my Freck Moisturizer, my Glowish Primer, my Hourglass Primer. I mean, all of the things that I talked about in my previous videos. But this is a brand new product. I've only had this for a few days, but I really love this and I feel like I'm going to fall in love so much that I need more shades. So this is the new Give Beauty Dewy Plump Collagen Lip Gel. She's really giving it to me in terms of colors, and I think possibly because we have a similar, skin tone and hair. I know she's super fair, but I am naturally fair, so I feel like we have a similar undertone because the shades that she chooses, like for her lip glosses, her blushes, things like that, really appeal to me. So when I saw the promo photos, I was like, I need it. So I ordered 2 different shades. I have Peony and I also have Marigold. These are super, super glossy. I will tell you that they are tacky. Her other glosses are very pigmented and they are sticky, like sticky, very thick. This is almost like a thick, high shine lip oil. So I'm gonna swatch this for you and then I will apply one on my lips. But Marigold is so beautiful. It is just this really gorgeous, high shine, like peachy coral. You can see the shine on this. A little goes a long way. They smell incredible. Actually, what do they smell like? They smell like a caramel cake. And this shade is Peony, so it's a really pretty like lilac-y pink. Now these are hydrating and they do not wear off fast. So because they're super thick, they stay on. My only thing is do not slather these all over because this is a thick formula. So I'm just gonna put a little bit in the center of my lips. It smells so good. It just gives you this really pretty high shine. The pigment shears out on the lips, so I feel like you're not gonna get, you know, full bang off the pigment, but this literally lasts like a long time because it is tacky and they have that really pretty like jelly sort of vibe where it looks like you just had a popsicle, which we all know I love. And even though these are called the Dewy Plump, I don't notice any tingling or burning, so if you don't like that, these don't have it. I don't know in terms of like longevity of the collagen aspect and if they plump over time because they are new to me, but I just think they're so pretty and glassy and I love a thick formula that hangs on. All right guys, so I think that is everything for my recommendations for the Sephora Spring Savings event. Again, I know it was quick, but I really just wanted to talk about the products that really stood out to me, and there just wasn't that many, but hopefully the remainder of the year will have a ton of new launches and new favorites going into the holiday sale. But again, I am going to link these products down below, and then under that, I will have a breakdown of all of my go-to products that you can pick up at Sephora. But let me know what you guys are picking up during this event. I know a lot of new releases are dropping. I was considering doing a wish list video. I do have quite a bit of products in my cart. I just have to decide what I really want to try. So let me know what you guys are picking up or what you would like me to pick up to review. Do let me know if you try any of my recommendations and if they work out for you. I always love chatting with you guys in the comments, but I think that is everything I have to say. All of the sale information will be down below as well as the links. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.